stay tuned because...
Excuse me everybody. Hi, I'm Janine Lauscha, and this is the 994th edition of Motorsports Unlimited. We thought by now we'd be well into the boating season, but unfortunately, we've been treated to rain every day since the J.C. Whitney Spring 2006 car show.
Motorsports Unlimited, 60 minutes and
Bill finally said that's it. We're going to get people revved up for the 2006 boating season, despite the fact that it's rained every day for a month. After all, it's got to stop sometime. Hi, I'm Patty Borowitz, and here's what he had in mind.
Today we're going to have fun on the water. We're taking you to the Illinois River to teach those of you who don't know how to water ski. It's fun, exciting, and anyone can do it. What's that? You don't think just anyone can do it? You can, and today we're going to prove it. We've got a less than enthusiastic volunteer who's going to give it a try. So let's join Bill and the girls at William G. Stratton State Park in Morris, Illinois, along the banks of the Illinois River and get the show on the road.
I don't believe it. I cannot believe the day that we got today, folks. So when we planned this show, which is how to water ski, and we're going to do some other fun things too, but which was how to water ski, we went ahead and planned the show, and guess what? The weather forecast a day ago was what, Peggy?
50 degrees.
Yeah, 50 degrees, gloomy, rainy, and all that, and look what happened.
Oh, it's nice. It's still a little cool, but overall it's a nice day.
She's being a baby, isn't she? It's not cold.
Yes, it is, Bill.
Wait a minute, I got a real tiger over here. First of all, our sharp-eyed viewers are going to recognize who she is, but I am going to have her introduce herself. Anyhow, tell the folks who we are.
My name's Patty Ryder.
And you're the daughter of Rich's Yamaha.
Right.
Okay, I guess it's not Rich's Yamaha, it's Rich's Ryder. Rich Ryder, I guess.
Right, yeah, Rich Ryder.
I always think of him that way. Anyhow, you'll recall that, I guess it was a few weeks ago now, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did a program with pulling water skiers behind wave runners. And I was so impressed with how well it worked, and I was particularly impressed with Patty because not only could she ski behind the wave runner, she slalom skied behind the wave runner. And later I was talking to her about it, and you said you weren't a natural at it. You didn't just jump on and go.
No, sir. No, it took me 1 full year to get out of the water on one ski.
Exactly, and I said, well, and she's just terrific at it now, just as sensational. So I said, well, this is the person that I really want explaining this stuff, somebody that wasn't just a natural and jumped on and went, somebody that actually had to learn it. So we're going to do a lot of things here today, and I want to real quick tell the audience what we had in mind. Those of you in Chicago, this will make sense. Some of the other systems that see this program, this isn't going to make a lot of sense. There's a fella in Chicago called Earl Christie. Earl Christie was a defensive cornerback for the New York Jets when they won the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Colts. Joe Namath was the quarterback and all that. Earl Christie was the defensive cornerback, and he does a show in Chicago, I believe called Superstar Sports Show or something like that. I've been on several times. During the winter I was on, and he mentioned on the show that he couldn't water ski and never had even tried and all that. And I said, Earl, this summer we're going to get you on water skis. The idea of today's program was we were going to get Earl Christie, we're going to teach him how to water ski. And guess what? Earl's out of town today and can't make it. So we've got a perfect substitute that's a whole lot better to look at than Earl Christie. And that's our own little Michelle here, because Michelle, you're apparently not an expert water skier.
No.
So Michelle is going to today learn how to water ski, and this is probably biting off more than we can chew. We probably can't get her up on a slalom ski, can we?
Probably not, but on two we'll have no problems.
On two we'll have no problems. Now I see that we're blocking traffic here, so let's get out of the way, and I want to tell the audience once again, come on girls, come on with me. Once again, I want to explain to the audience that we are at William G. Stratton State Park in Morris, Illinois. This is right on the Illinois River, and Chuck, I know I'm giving you a little bit of a challenge here, but try to keep up. Girls, please come on right this way. Want to join our friends over here so we can explain what we're doing. The reason I started the show that way, go right ahead girls, the reason I started the show shooting that way is because the sun is wrong over here, folks, and I didn't want an entire interview shot with just silhouettes. So in order to explain what we're doing, this has gotten quite elaborate. I was so impressed with the wave runners when we did that show with the wave runners pulling the water skiers that I said, I think that's a better way to teach a person how to water ski than behind the big boats. Now, if you take your shot over there, Chuck, you see that we've got a red and white boat in the back, not nearly as nice looking as the blue and white one that's up front, but we're going to explain that boat in a second. Of course, we know the blue and white one is the leader of the pack and really the boss of the river. We'll talk about those boats in a minute, but we've also got, before you take your shot away from there, Chuck, we've also got an 1100 Wave Runner over here. If you'll recall that Wave Runner show, we know that my favorite Wave Runner was the 1200 GP
1200.
GP 1200 was my favorite because that's the most powerful of them all. It's the fastest of them all. Only problem is, when they built them, they're only two-seaters, and you can't pull a skier with a two-seater. So they have an 1100, which is a little less powerful, not quite as fast, but has 3 seats, and they're excellent for pulling water skiers, and that's what we want to use today. And actually, I've kind of almost changed my opinion. If I were going to get one, I'd get the 1100 because I like the option of pulling a skier. I was so impressed with how well they pulled skiers that I said, let's teach. It was going to be Earl Christie, but it's not going to be Earl Christie today, obviously. Let's teach whoever we teach, and you're supposed to learn along with them. That's the idea. Let's do it on the Wave Runner. You think that's a good choice?
I think that's a good choice.
The main reason I was impressed was because I have already pulled this big guy, and you've met him a lot of times on Motorsports Unlimited. We're going to do the introductions here in a second. I have already tried to pull him up with a 300 horsepower V8. This guy, as you can see, is like 7'3", goes over 300 pounds, and I tell you, it's like dragging an Oldsmobile down the river. I don't mean like dragging an Oldsmobile on top of the water. I mean one that's laying on the bottom that's anchored. That's what it's like to try to, and guess what? They pulled him up with, I couldn't believe it, they pulled him up with the Wave Runner. They pulled Gary up on a slalom ski.
Yep, they sure did, and that takes a lot.
You're not kidding. It really does take. So I was so impressed with all that I said we're going to do this thing. And the reason I like the Wave Runners doing it with the Wave Runners is because they don't draw much water. You don't have to have deep water. You can do it in a shallow area, and we can get real close to shore with these things. Now let me get. I know this is a lot of explaining. We're going to have fun. Trust me. First of all, tell the folks who we are now that I've needled you enough.
Gary Mativich from Lockport.
Absolutely, our favorite toy mechanic, as we all know, and he takes an awful lot of needling about his size, but that's what happens when you're as big as you are, right?
That's all right. I can take a joke.
That's okay. It's not a joke, folks. I'm not kidding. And you are?
Cindy Seidner from Shorewood.
And?
Gene Seidner from Shorewood.
And look at this. We've got another feather girl, as sometimes people call them. It's not true.
Ashley Seidner from Shorewood, Illinois.
That's right. And you were the one that explained last time about how kids, in order to drive the Wave Runners, have to go and take a course.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you did a nice job. And you are?
Justin Seidner, Shorewood, Illinois.
Okay, and you're a guy that does everything from ATVs to Wave Runners, right?
That's right.
Okay. We've got these folks down here because, quite frankly, we needed the 1100 Wave Runner in order to do the water ski lessons. We've got this guy here because, quite frankly, he rounds everything up, and we're going to do something else on today's program. I was teasing a little bit before. Chuck, take your shot over to the less attractive red and white boat there. That's the second one in line because I know you don't have a color monitor. Gary, what do we got back there?
This is what you've been needling me about for years and years. I've bought that boat about 6 years ago in pieces, and we just spent a lot of time here accumulating parts, and I finally got it all together, and it's in the water, and we're going to see who's the boss of the river today.
Well, this guy is just about not a dramatic storyteller. Let me tell you exactly how the story went, because it's a whole lot more dramatic than that. Of course, everybody knows, Chuck, show the audience my boat again, the blue and white one. Everybody knows that this is my boat that we put the small block V in. When I say we, I mean Gary. Gary built actually it was John Platania built the motor, and Gary put all the marine pieces on it and all that, and put the 350 Chevy V8 in my boat, and it really lit the boat up. Makes it really potent, really fast. Unfortunately, he had a boat. What size boat was that cruiser?
25 foot.
He had a 25-foot cruiser that he had a small block Chevy with a stroker crankshaft in it, a 383 Chevy, and he was quite confident he was going to blow me off going down the river, and it didn't work out that way. It's been eating at him for about a year. So what does he do? He takes this Sea Sprite that he happened to have in the garage, pulls the small block out of it, puts a big block in there. How big of an engine we got?
454.
Puts a 454 in this thing, gets it all ready, and says, Bill, now I want to meet you on the river. Now, mind you, he's catching me at a little bit of disadvantage. We don't have the 406 in yet that we've been planning. Those that watch our program all the time know we're going to put a 406 in mine. Don't have it yet. So I want Gary to at least have a moment when he can share the role of King of the River. What do you think?
Well, you make me laugh, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I think I've got plenty of power, and we're going to have fun. That's the best way to put it.
Right, but he's discounting my skill and technique here, that's for sure. All right, that gives a little idea of what we're going to do today. Michelle, by the end of the day, you're going to be an expert water skier, right?
Sure. I almost got there last time, so.
Well, that's right. I should say, when we did the Wave Runner show, this is what I did not know that Michelle didn't know how to water ski. So when we did the Wave Runner show, right towards the end, somebody had her grab a rope and yanked her up on skis, and she said that was the first time she'd ever done it. I says, there's somebody we got to teach, and we've got the right teacher, right, Patty?
Well, I hope so. I think we'll get her up.
Peggy, you're kind of an expert water skier now. What do you think? She's going to be able to do it?
I think she'll be able to do it. Yes, just give her a few times and she'll be right up there and she's going to surprise you.
Now, I hope we're going to have time to do this King of the River stuff. We may not have time for that, Gary. We may not. What's that, Peggy?
I said, I think you're going to make time.
No, we may not have time for that part of it. In any event, we'd better get busy now. So the idea of the program is that first we're going to go to that nice little area. It's about, Chuck, if you can, pan your shot down there. Show the folks we're going to go down the river, about a quarter mile or so, where they've got that nice little lagoon. And we're going to use the 1100 Yamaha Wave Runner to teach Michelle how to water ski. And then if there's time, I'm going to take Gary out on the river and show him what a small block can really do. If we have time, we may not be able to get to that. So we'd better get started. And Ashley, can I put you to work for a second?
Yes.
Come on out here. I know you like this. Peggy said to her, hey, you want to put a feather in your hair? And she went to it like a duck to water, right?
Yeah.
Okay, matter of fact, I need you close to the camera. I want that pretty face of yours to get closer to the camera. This is a real pretty, real bright little girl. I want to get you right up close to the camera here. I want you to take a look over there. I want you to say.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Ashley is a doll, and one of these days we hope she'll be joining us on Motorsports Unlimited. Right now, it's Michelle, Patty, and myself en route to teach Michelle how to water ski.
We're on the way. Michelle, are you getting excited now?
Sure.
Okay,
I'm ready.
because you want to be a good skier.
Yeah. It's been in the family with my mom and her sister, so it's time for me to learn.
Well, we got just the right stuff here. We've got Patty, who's an expert at this stuff, and Chuck, if you'd swing your shot around there and show the audience. We've got the wave runners here that we're going to be using, and Patty, you don't see any problem with using the wave runners for a beginner like this, right?
Not at all.
No, as a matter of fact, I actually think it's better than doing it on the boat because you don't have to take them in deep water.
You don't have to go in deep water, and you can circle around, pick her up faster if she does go down.
Exactly. Yes, Peggy.
I experienced that. It was wonderful. I was really nervous about it at first because I wasn't sure how it was going to pick me up versus a boat. But actually, I preferred the wave runners better, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised. That's why I say I was impressed with Patty, and I was also impressed with the stuff technically, especially when I saw them pull Gary out of the water. This guy is 8 feet tall. He's 450 pounds. He's huge.
He's a barge.
No, he is a barge all by himself, and the thing pulled him out. And by the way, folks, once again, Chuck, if you would, just pan over to the left, keep full wide, pan over to the left. I want the audience to take a look. This is such a pretty place down here, and pan back to the bridge. Show the audience the bridge. This is such a pretty area down here, folks. I'm telling you, you're talking about a little over an hour from downtown Chicago. It's the easiest thing in the world to get to Morris, Illinois. All you do is take the Stevenson for those people that are in Chicago, or what am I saying? No, not I-80, I-57. 55, I'm sorry. 55 out of Chicago, go down to I-80, make a right turn at I-80, go about 10 miles to Morris, take the Morris exit, and just go down to the river, and you're the Illinois River, and you're there. Don't cheat yourself. This is a wonderful resource down here, and if you're not familiar with it, you really ought to be if you live in the Chicago area. Now, I'm going to hit the throttle a little bit here. Maybe you guys can hold it. Yeah, poor Chuck, he's already holding the thing. I'm going to flip him out of the back of the boat. I'm going to bring the throttle up just a little. I'm not going to scare you, Chuck. Don't worry. Peggy, talk to the folks.
This will be Michelle's chance to shine, right, Michelle?
Well, yeah, I'm the air.
Well, remember my show when I fell about 13 times? Remember that one?
No.
No, were you there that day?
I don't know.
No, well, it took me about 13 tries. I finally got up.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
So you'll be able to do it.
Up.
Hey, Patty, how do you like this so far?
Oh, this is great. We don't have much time left of the year to do this, though.
Time's running. It's going to get dark soon before we know it.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, do you want the mic?
Okay, yeah, as always, I always want the mic, and I think we're going to sign off right now because we're going to find, again, Chuck, take your camera shot out onto the river. We're going down there just about a quarter mile, and we're going to find that nice little lagoon. So don't go away, folks. We're coming right back.
I'm sure you'll forgive our less than steady camera shots. It's very difficult to shoot from a moving boat while rocking and rolling on the waves. In a few minutes, we arrived at Bill's favorite place to shoot this kind of stuff.
All right, we're at this little lagoon now. I call it a lagoon. It's an area that for a while had signs up that they were going to build some kind of a marina here. I see the signs are gone. They apparently did some work. And by the way, Chuck, Gary will kill me if you don't pan over and get a shot of his boat coming back. He's so proud of the fact that we just found out that his may be a little bit faster than mine. We're not sure yet. I'm not conceding anything. But
Bill may not be conceding anything, but following this show, work began in earnest installing the engine, eventually powering his boat, a small block 406.
pool in there, and it's just about ideal for teaching people how to water ski and all that, and that's where we're going to go. And by the way, Chuck, once again, Gary's going to kill me. Swing around, make sure we get a shot of his boat.
Have faith, everyone. Despite all the rain we're experiencing trying to get to the summer of 2006, boating season is on the way. We promise.
He is really some kind of a mechanic. He really is. Okay, Chuck, you can come back over here now. The audience can see that we're about to beach ourselves, and hopefully we're not already beached. I noticed that I could feel the prop kind of hitting the bottom, so I said, time to shut it off. We'll go in a little more slowly.
You just saw the reason we can't use a full-size boat in this area. The water isn't deep enough. On the other hand, it's just fine for personal watercraft. Let's get started.
All right. I think we're going to be ready here, and this is going to be quite an experience because we're doing a lot of things. Peggy, you have never pulled a water skier on a boat or a wave runner.
Never.
But you're a real good wave runner driver, right?
Yes.
And you've got an excellent instructor here in Patty because you know how to do it both ways, right?
Right.
Okay, and we just had Patty out there on the back, in effect spotting, although nobody was there, just so Peggy could get the feel of how this thing is going to feel, because you're going to drive this, you're going to spot, because you're going to also give the instruction and all that, right?
I'm going to try to.
Okay. Now I want to explain something. One of the reasons I want to use Earl Christie for this, as I explained in the beginning, is that it is harder for guys, and it has to do with the sheer size. Whenever I've taught a million people how to water ski and been water skiing myself a lot of times, and the difference is that the girls are so small and light and have such small amount of frontal area that they yank up out of the water much more quickly than the guys do. Like when you pull a kid up on water skis, they literally pop on the water like that. The bigger and heavier the guy is, the harder it is, and part of it is our shoulders give so much width in the water. When we put the skis up in front of us, and we're going to be explaining all that in a minute, when we put the skis up in front of us, it doesn't really cover the whole cross section of our body. With the girls, they put the skis up in front of them, and that's pretty much the cross section, so when the skis go up in the water, they just go up with it. Well, with us, when the skis go up in the water, our shoulders are still sticking out by a bunch, and it's harder for the guy. So I would have liked to have done this with a guy, but we can still do it with Michelle to give you the idea. The important thing with water skiing, and probably the hardest thing, is just getting up. And there is just a moment when you're in the water, you've got the skis in the right position, and you tell the boat, and by the way, and if you don't like these rules, you can go ahead and quarrel with me, that's okay. I've got a rule when I do water skiing with people. I don't want there to ever be any confusion as to what the commands are. You'll see in a moment that I'm not always the most safety-minded person in the world, but there are some things that I really think are important, and one thing is communication. What I want to hear from the skier in the water is two things, nothing else. I want to hear in gear and hit it. I won't respond, and I'm real stubborn about it. I won't respond to any other command. And the reason for that is I don't ever want there to be a confusion. The skier has got a rope tangled around his legs, and he says, wait a minute, or something like that, and I think he said go. I never want there to be any confusion. So I only want to hear in gear. That tells the boat operator to put the boat in gear, and it takes the slack out of the line a little bit, and you'll understand all this in a few minutes, and then hit it. That's when he's got himself, you sort of bob around like a cork back there, and you're trying to get your skis in the right position and all that. When you say hit it, it means you're positioned and ready to go, and the boat operator hits it immediately. And does that sound like those are a good way to do it to you?
Sounds real good.
Okay, and I'm real disciplined about that. What I'm not so disciplined about, and everybody's mad at me, Gary, come on down here. Gary and I fight about safety all the time. This guy, for all his size, almost 9 feet tall, going on 500 pounds, this guy's kind of a weenie about a lot of stuff. He gets real mad whenever we do the motorcycle shows. He wants them in armor and all that. And I said, no, it's a TV show. It's got to be colorful and bright. So today, here we are, and we're going to have the girls in bathing suits without life vests. Gary's going nuts.
Positively, because I truly believe in the safety aspect of it. But we are going to make exceptions today. We are in a closed area, so I'll go along with it.
And boy, believe me, this is after about a half an hour rolling on the ground, punching and socking with them. So this is me, folks. This is a television program. Don't get all your information from a television program. We're more enthusiastic than we are technically accurate. And what I want you to do is, Chuck, take your shot out here a little bit. We're in a nice enclosed area here where there's no other traffic, and I don't think this thing is deeper than 3 feet anywhere.
No, I was walking around it last time we were here, and 3-4 feet, that's all I could find, and I was real confident with that.
Exactly. So we are not as careless as it would appear to be. We're all strong swimmers. We're all right here to take care of anybody. Plus the fact is you really can't drown because the only thing you're going to do is skin your knees if you fall in the water. Now, are we ready to give her some? Yes?
Question. Michelle is going to wear a jacket, right?
No jackets.
Well, the jacket will help to hold her up so she can balance a little easier.
Should I make a compromise here?
We got to on Michelle anyway.
Okay, I think you guys are all being babies, but I'll go along with it for a moment, but I'm not so sure about this. I think they're hornswoggling me here, folks. In any event, we're going to move some stuff around here so we can give you some final instruction on how this is going to work. I hope this is going to work. We've got a new guy doing the pulling and a new guy getting pulled up. And what do you think, Michelle? We going to be able to do this?
Well, this time I'll let go of the rope when I go underneath the water.
Yes, we won't go into all that. In any event, folks, don't go away. We're going to move stuff around. We'll be right back.
Bill is always concerned about the theatrical quality of the presentation and sometimes makes exceptions to proper safety requirements. Always wear a life jacket when operating a personal watercraft. It's not just a good idea, it may be the law. Enough said? Now before we get our hair wet, let's take a moment to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Michelle Donna Maria.
I'm Peggy O'Donnell.
And I'm Patty Ryder.
Thank you, girls. Now let the lessons begin.
All right, first thing right off the bat, you're going to find with water skis that they're all adjustable. And it's not always as easy as it seems, and particularly because you're going to end up doing it in the water to get it right in the water. We're going to explain that in a second. But Chucky, can you come in tight on here? Is that visible to the audience? This particular style ski, it's got these two spring-loaded deals. You pull these back, and then you slide the thing back and forth, and it always gets filled up with sand, so it makes it a little bit more of a project than it really should be. But this does slide back and forth. Patty, how do we tell the people to adjust the skis?
The easiest way is to get into the water, slip the ski on your foot, get it wet, slip the boot on your foot, and then adjust it to where it feels snug, to where you can't actually pull your foot out of it.
All right, but you do want to be able to get out of it
You don't want it tight, but you want it snug so that you don't feel like you're going to lose the ski.
Okay, why don't you take her and we get her set up with that. Go right ahead into the water with her, take the skis. Peggy, what do you think? You've practiced a little bit now. You're going to be all set?
I'm going to try hard, Bill. This was a first for me, so I'm a little nervous because I'm pulling somebody.
Right, you're responsible. Right. And let's make that point for all you out there that are going to be pulling skiers, whether you're going to do it with a wave runner, or whether you're going to do it with a full-size boat or anything else. The driver is really responsible for that person they're pulling. You're responsible to watch out for other traffic on the water, make sure you don't put them in a harrowing predicament, and also to pay attention to what they want, right?
Exactly, but I feel a little more comfortable with Patty being experienced, so we're going to follow each other's commands. I'll listen to her, whatever Michelle's doing, I'll do.
Okay.
It's not going to be that hard, I'm just a little worried.
Yeah, that's okay, because it's the first time, but Peggy, as you've seen, folks, pilot Peggy.
That didn't bother me, but I have somebody else behind me that I'm responsible for now, so it makes me a little more nervous. I can handle myself.
It does make a difference, doesn't it?
It does, uh-huh.
Okay, well, we're getting the skis adjusted now, and we're going to come right back and show you the rest of the technique.
I was a little concerned about pulling a skier. I know I had a lot of responsibility, so I listened carefully to what Patty was telling Michelle to do.
We've got Michelle out here now, and she's just about ready to take off on her new venture. She's going to be sitting in a crouched position with her knees pulled up to her chest. Her ski rope is a single-handled rope, which she's going to run in between her skis. She's going to have her hands, her elbows bent, and she's going to tell Peggy to put it in gear when she's ready to take the slack out of the rope. When she's ready to try to go up on her skis, she's going to tell Peggy to hit it. At that point, as the boat's dragging her, she's going to kind of, like I said, be in a crouched position. She's going to feel the water start to lift her and her skis up out of the water from the motion of the boat. And then she's going to simply stand up and straighten her arms out. She's not going to look down at her feet, because when she does, she's going to topple over. Are you all set? Ready to try it?
Yeah.
Michelle didn't sound too sure. Let's see how she does.
Okay, Michelle, pull your knees back. It's going to straighten you out as it pulls you a little bit. Okay. All right, Michelle went over forward, and I should tell the people, and Chuck, you can stay right with her there, I should tell the people that when you're learning how to water ski, in all likelihood, you're going to go over forward once, you're going to fall over backward once, and you're also going to split the skis apart and take in a bunch of water down your throat once too, until you get the idea of exactly what has to happen out there. But I'm sure Michelle's ready to try again.
You may be sure, Bill, but Michelle wasn't. Still, she agreed to try again.
Okay, they're ready to try it again now. Michelle has got herself in position. Hopefully she's got her knees pulled up like we told her. Yep, Michelle's having, this time the skis got apart from her.
Michelle seems to think the skis are too big, but that's really not the case, and we persuaded her to try again.
Okay, we've got Gary Mativich out there now giving her a little extra instruction, right? Ashley, I've got Ashley here who's going to help me explain. Go ahead, what's she doing?
What she's doing is when she's trying to get up, she has her legs straight, and you start with them in your chest, and then after you're already standing up, then you straighten your legs.
So she's just trying to step up too quickly, is that it?
Yeah, she's just standing up. You got to let the boat pull you up.
They're doing exactly right, though. They're making her say hit it because it's real important the boat operator doesn't do something the skier doesn't want him to do.
Yeah, it is.
So the person, you got to get that discipline that you're in charge.
See, what she's doing is she's just like, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to keep the skis shoulder length apart, and when you come up with your legs bent, and then you finally straighten them.
Right. It seems like she's anticipating going up a little bit too much, but we're going to give her a little extra instruction here, and we're coming right back because I know that she can do this.
Bill might be sure she can do it, but Michelle wasn't. So this time, Bill asked Gary to stay right with her.
I think Peggy backed off the throttle a little too much. No, she's up. Oh, Peggy's up and down with the throttle. This is extra hard because we got a person learning how to do drive the boat and a person learning how to water ski. You really want to hold a nice steady tension on her. You want she lost way too much speed there. Did you see that?
Yeah, you have to hold a nice steady pace or it's like all over the place.
Exactly. Well, that one was Michelle did her job and got up, but Peggy didn't do her job in the boat. So we're going to have to give them a little bit more instruction on this.
It's surprisingly difficult to hold just the right speed when the load is changing. Bill wanted us to come back closer to the camera, so we tried another practice run coming back, and Michelle got up. Yes, she fell, but at least she was up, and I was kind of getting the hang of driving. Let's try again.
Michelle is just given the command to get in gear, so she's getting the idea of this now. Now let's see if she can get up. Here we go. She's got to yell, hit it. What's she waiting for?
I don't know.
Michelle, they're waiting for you to say hit it.
Keep your legs bent.
And she's up. I didn't think she'd get up that time.
Nope, not either. She was like waiting so long.
Exactly. Now let's see. Now Peggy can keep the speed nice and smooth because they've got to make a turn right away. This is a nice secluded little area, but on the other hand, there's not a whole lot of maneuvering room. So
I don't know if I'd be able to do something like this anymore, but I'm wondering if Patty would try.
Exactly. That's why.
Are you kidding? I'd love it. I'm so jealous.
It looks like Michelle's going to go down. No, she's staying up, down, up, down. Nope, she's okay. Now we're getting a little more speed here. Okay, she's doing good, and I think she's going to bring her right by the camera here. I hope she doesn't get her too close to the shore, and I hope she keeps the speed about right. It looks like she's a little hot.
Oh, she's speeding up a little too fast.
Yeah, a little bit too fast maybe. And Michelle is down, and I missed it. I looked away, and I missed it. But I think Michelle, what do you think? She's starting to get there, isn't she?
Yeah, she's starting to get it.
We were all starting to get it. Driving is more difficult than I would have thought, but it seemed like Michelle and I were both learning as we went. Let's try again.
We can just barely hear the commands yelling, but they're yelling back and forth out there. I think Peggy's getting an idea on what it takes to pull. She just yelled in gear and hit it. It seems like Peggy's dropping off the speed a little too much as she comes up.
Straighten your legs.
And you say she should straighten up more.
Yeah, she needs to straighten her legs because if she straightened her legs, she wouldn't be so much bouncy all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. She needs to stand up a little bit. But first, right now, when you first get up, you're kind of hanging on in terror.
Yeah.
And you're so glad you're staying up. You're going to just not do anything to upset the balance at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I remember very well my cameraman Chuck Itzenthaler, who can't swim, and I wanted to try him on skis. We put him on water skis, and I gave him all the explanations to how to get up. We put him behind the boat. I hit the throttle, and I expected he was going to take him 10 times to get up. Darned if he didn't get up the first time. He pops right up on top of the water, goes about 100 yards or so, and then falls. And when I swing the boat around again, he says, "Yeah, you told me how to get up, but you didn't say what to do once I got up." I didn't think he was going to get up the first time, but he did. So we're going to get to that here in a little bit as to what to do after you're up. And she needs to stand up more, that's for sure. But it looks like she's having fun out there now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And she's down, and I gotta say, I think that's Peggy's fault because she's letting the throttle off in the turns and slowing it down. What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, she's pumping the throttle, you can tell it, and she's not watching the skier close enough, and the skier's halfway down, and then she's gassing it too hard. If she eased back into it, she could straighten them out.
Right, so I think we ought to get her back in here and do a little extra instruction here. Let's see if we can get him.
Michelle was tired, and Bill was waving for us to come back, so we triumphantly returned.
We were having fun, but Bill and Gary wanted to criticize.
Okay, Peggy, we've got all kinds of critics here. Gary, come on down here. First of all, Michelle, you did get up several times. What do you think so far?
It's fun.
Okay, what is she doing wrong, Patty?
I know what I'm doing wrong. I was doing what Ashley said.
No, you're not standing up.
I know, Bill.
Oh, okay.
I told you I knew.
Okay, but why aren't you standing up?
Because Ashley told me to keep my knees bent.
No,
and I was afraid if
No, you're misunderstanding. Keep your knees tucked up. When you get pulled up, then stand up.
Well, I don't know, little by little.
Okay, Peggy, only thing is on pulling, are you getting the idea of it now?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit easier.
It's hard being
It's very hard. I mean, I didn't expect it to be this hard, but you really have to...
You've got to hold a steadier throttle, and when you start going around a corner, the skier's going to lose a little speed. You have to bring the throttle up a little bit. You have to bring it up steady. Gary, you wanted to comment?
Right. Well, that was the biggest thing was in the turns. She was backing off the throttle and then hitting back on too hard. You got to ease into the throttle, and actually you power through the turns completely because she's going to lose speed because she usually comes to the inside of you.
Right. Well, Patty was explaining that to me on the turns. It just seemed like, I don't know why, naturally I was just letting go.
Yeah, and you can't because you
can't.
Yes, and it screwed you up.
Yes, it does a little bit.
Yeah, we saw that, but you're getting the idea. Okay, you ready for more? What do you think? She's shivering. She's cold.
I think she wants to take a break.
Okay, we're going to take a break here a little bit, but you're going to see by the time we're done today, Michelle is going to be able to really, really ski well.
Michelle was really tired by now, and so we took a little break, then went back at it.
Okay, we are going to try again. Probably not a long enough break, huh, Michelle?
No.
She is going to be sore tomorrow like you wouldn't believe. Now, you have an idea what you're going to try a little differently?
Yes.
You're going to stand up a little straighter?
I was going to try it, but I was too tired, so I wanted a break.
Okay, well, we're going to give it a try. Peggy, what do you think? This is going to be a little easier now, second time around. Peggy was quite surprised at how difficult the boat driver's job is, right, Peggy? Kind of holler, I'll repeat it. Yeah, more to it than you might have thought. Okay, what she's saying is one of the problems is holding it at a nice steady pace because when she lifts off on the throttle slightly, the skiers tends to start sinking down, and then you hit the throttle again, and it tends to pull them out of their socks. So it's just a matter of trying to get a nice, smooth, steady flow of throttle, and I think she's getting it. And so in a minute, we're going to give it a try again.
Michelle was still tired, but we were afraid of losing our light, so we had to try again.
All right, they're getting themselves into position again. And Chuck, you can pull the camera shot back from the towboat back here to Michelle. Michelle, pull your knees up. Get the rope between the skis. Okay, it's always important to make sure you get that rope between the skis. Get your skis together. Pull your knees up. Go ahead and tell them, Michelle. She's telling them in gear. Takes some of the slack out of the rope. Puts a little bit of tension on it to get her in a nice position. Then she'll yell, hit it. And she goes right over forward. Right over forward. Try to stand up a little bit too soon. We're going to have to rack them and try again.
Michelle was still tired, so Bill asked Gary to help.
Okay, we've got Gary out there with her again. Gary is going to steady her a little bit and help her get back up again. And nicely done. And Peggy let the throttle off a little bit too much there. Did you notice? Peggy let the throttle off, trying to maintain the right speed, and she almost went down with it.
Yeah, gotta let out slow, not so fast.
Exactly. You got to maintain a nice, steady throttle pressure. But Michelle seems to be up and doing okay now.
She's going too fast in the turns again.
Well, what she's trying to do is she's trying to learn it because she went too slow before. Yeah, I think she went too fast that time. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe pick up a couple miles per hour, not like that
Right.
much.
Well, and there too, though, the skier has to know too that the skier can control that. The skier can go to the inside of the turn to go slower, the outside of the turn to go faster. But again, we've got an inexperienced skier and an inexperienced driver right now, but we're going to rack them again.
By the time Bill got to us, we already figured out what we did wrong and decided to solve it ourselves without any help from the guys. Watch the results.
Once you figure it out, it doesn't look that difficult.
I know I could do it. I just know it.
Well, Bill went down there and did a little talking to him. It looks like our driver's a little steadier this time. Michelle seems to be standing up much better ski position. Let's see how this turn does here. It's looking real nice, real nice. Michelle crouched a little bit to cut a little speed. Here they come. Everybody's looking good. I think Michelle's going to be a pro by the end of today. Bill slacking a rope there, and then he got a whip, and Michelle's down.
I think we did just fine by ourselves. That was Michelle's longest run of the day, and her form was much better. Now let's see what Bill thinks.
Well, Michelle, you've got to be getting tired by now. And look at this again. Chuck, show the audience the sacrifices I make here for Motorsports Unlimited. I'm walking, and by the way, to those folks that thought the last time I was walking my dress shoes, these are boat shoes. They're supposed to get wet. It's only the pants that aren't supposed to get wet. Michelle, I'm trying to find a way that I don't block you from the camera here. You got to be beat.
Yeah, my back hurts.
Yeah, it's tiring out there, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you what, the harder you're working at it, when you get more and more comfortable with it, the less hurts. Right now your back hurts because you're all tense and you're up there and all that. The more comfortable you get, the less that happens.
It's great exercise.
Oh, it's excellent exercise and a lot of fun, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
You ready to try one ski?
No, not yet.
No, I don't think so. What do you think? Not quite yet?
Not quite. A little more practice on 2.
Is she doing okay, though?
She's doing fantastic.
Peggy, how about yourself? You get any idea? It seemed like you were a little smoother that way, like the last time where she rode there for about 2.5 minutes. When you hit the throttle, pulling her up, and then you backed it off nice and easy. She stayed steady the whole time. Are you getting the idea better?
I'm getting the idea a lot better, but what I was confused was I was going, the one time I took the turn, I was going really too fast, but
Yeah,
see,
and
I was
she
under
took-
the impression to hold the steady, the throttle steady, so then that was my mistake. So when I did it different, it was easier for her because she stayed up. I
Right.
did the right thing.
Right. 2 things there. First of all, if you have an experienced skier, they can control that speed by all they have to do is go over the wake to the inside of the turn, and that would slow the speed down considerably. Or if you weren't going fast enough, the skier can go to the other side of the wake and they can pick up speed on their own as long as you keep it steady. But of course, she's inexperienced and you're inexperienced, but you're getting the idea. That's really important, and that's probably one of the big differences, by the way. These things have no problem whatsoever yanking skiers out of the water. It doesn't make any difference how big they are or how heavy they are, whether you're slalom skiing or 2 skiing. The one thing that is a little trickier than these is holding a constant speed.
It is. It's hard.
Right, a big boat that's much heavier, that's got a lot more plowing through the water, it's easier to maintain a constant. These things are so lively, and you squirt the throttle and they'll leap ahead and all that. You've got to be careful not to do that when you're pulling a skier because you're going to yank them right out of their socks, right, Patty?
Right, definitely.
Okay, what do you think? Is she ready to go behind the big boat?
I think so.
Patty?
Oh, I think she'll do quite well.
This is your student now.
She'll do quite well.
Okay, Michelle, what do you think? You ready to get pulled by the big boat?
I don't know.
Huh?
We have more confidence than her.
I don't know.
Well, we're going to give it a try because I think she's ready to go out on the what? I'm sorry?
Am I driving that too?
Well, we'll see, Peggy. We'll see.
Michelle doesn't seem confident, but Bill's sure, though not sure about me driving his boat. Let's go out on the river.
Well, we are having fun. I can't believe it. I thought it was supposed to be 50 degrees today and overcast.
That's what the forecast called for.
And it's turned out beautiful, hasn't it?
It's just gorgeous out here.
And Michelle?
Absolutely gorgeous.
And you have actually learned how to water ski.
Yeah.
Except I hope you're showing the audience right now, Chuck, she's on the big boat, she's on the big guy, and we're going to see if you've actually legitimately become a water skier, and we're going to have you actually water ski behind this boat on the Illinois River. What do you think? Are you ready?
No, not yet.
Well, you'll see. You're going to, yes, Peggy?
I should add to this. This should be a show of how to pull a skier and learn how to ski show.
Absolutely. In fact, I put more than enough comments in there because the people do have to understand that when if you're going to pull a skier, you have to remember you're responsible for him, and it's a big responsibility. You have to know what you're doing, right?
It sure is.
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to turn and face the other way because Michelle is going to work her way to the back of the boat, get the skis ready, and I want to make sure we're shooting with the right sun in the right direction. So we're going to go the other way in order to shoot the piece with Michelle. Hopefully water skiing down the Illinois River. What do you think, kid?
We'll see.
Okay, we will see.
That's our objective. We're going to see if Michelle has learned well enough to ski on the river.
Okay, what we're going to do now, as we've explained, is we're going to have Michelle actually ski down the Illinois River, we hope. First thing we've got to do is, Michelle, we've got to get you onto the ski platform on the back, so if you would just kind of swing your legs over the back. There's a ski platform right behind the boat there, and I'm going to pull the throttle back just a little bit. Okay, just like that. As a matter of fact, we're going to pull it all the way back, get us into neutral here. Okay, Peggy, can you hand her the ski now? Yeah. We're in tight quarters here, folks.
Gotta get in the water.
There's another. It's got to be swung down though. Just swing it down, Michelle.
Might be on it. Go ahead and get in the water. Stay away from the other one.
There you go. Okay, we got her in the water now. And by the way, it's always absolutely critical to make sure that you have the boat in neutral when you're doing this sort of thing. You don't want anybody ever to get near the prop when they're maneuvering. Okay, she's calling for the other ski now. And believe me, folks, this is harder to do when you're doing it for television, when you do it by yourself. Now, I'm going to maneuver us just a little bit away from her. She's away from the prop. Try to get her straightened out on the river here a little bit. Go ahead and throw the rope to her, or we won't be able to get it to her.
In a few minutes, Michelle was in position to give it a try. If you listen carefully, you can hear her yell, "In gear," and hit it.
right, way to go, Michelle. She is skiing down the Illinois River. She's doing a great job.
You should say hello, Aunt Linda.
She says hello, Aunt Linda?
Yes, when she's up there.
She's saying hello to her, and we're hitting some wake now. Let's see how good she can ski. All right, she's doing real good.
Terrific.
She's doing real good. Patty, you did a good job.
Well, thank you. She did all the work.
I'll be darned. Apparently it is possible to learn how to water ski in one day.
Bill motioned Michelle to cross the wake. Let's see if she can do it.
Now that's a big wake to cross. There she goes. Across that wake, that's the hard part. There she goes. She's down.
From a person starting the day not knowing how to ski to skiing on the Illinois River, not bad. Let's see what she has to say. Okay. All right, Michelle, what did you think? Come on up here. You did a great job. We said that you said, hi, Aunt Linda. Remember? Because you were here. Give me your hand. Come on up. Good job. What'd you think?
Oh, it was great.
You did a great job. Excellent.
Thank you.
Ask her if there's any different behind the boat. I tell her I'd love to get over there, but I'm driving the boat. I ask her if there's any difference between the boat and the wave runner.
Is there any difference between the boat and the wave runner that you had felt?
Of course the boat goes a lot faster. More waves, but not really.
Were you afraid to cut over the waves at first, or were you pretty comfortable?
I was fine cutting the first wave, but not
the wake?
Well, whatever, and not going back. Not going back.
Right, you get scared thinking, well, I just did it. I don't know if I want to go back, right? I know, I've been there. Okay.
I knew I was going to fall.
Well, good job. Congratulations. Okay, Bill?
Well, I have nothing more to add, Michelle. Nicely done. You can now say that you're a water skier. You did well. You actually were down in the Illinois River, and the only time you told folks that if the truth were known, I motioned her to go and cross the wake, and then when she was out on the wake, I motioned her to go back the other way. Well, you were getting a little tired at that point, weren't you?
Yes, my arms are getting tired.
But it's fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Tell the folks.
Thank you for watching. Sorry.
Don't go. That's okay. Don't go. She is really worn out. Go ahead.
I want you to... No. I can't talk.
Anyhow, folks, don't go away. We are coming right back.
As always, a fun day on the water with Motorsports Unlimited. Now, we mentioned earlier how impressed Bill was with the ability of the wave runners to pull skiers, particularly slalom skiers. Bill asked Gary to demonstrate once again how capable these craft are. Remember, despite Bill's teasing, Gary is in fact a big guy. At 6'5", 240 pounds, he's a test for any boat on a slalom ski.
despite the rain we are currently experiencing in 2006, summer is coming. Get those boats ready.
Gary is an outstanding skier, and as Ashley watched, she wanted to try slalom skiing too. Unfortunately, she couldn't quite get up, but watch her on 2 skis.
Nothing quite like summer, and before we run out of time, we want to acknowledge the efforts of those who helped, through the magic of digital imaging, save this early footage. Tom McGrady, Sue Cassanda, our webmaster Frank Barbalace, Rena Borwitz, Samantha Bentley, Janine Lauschat, and me, I'm Patty Borwitz.
We had a great day. Let's wrap things up.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't have time to find out if Gary's boat was faster than mine, because as you can see, I've still got all the girls. So that means that we have not yet established a new King of the River. So until future notice, Bill Wildt is still King of the River. What we did do today is have a great time with the wave runners, and once again proved that you can pull skiers behind these things. And matter of fact, they turn out to be an ideal way to teach a water skier. Ashley, you just learned how to ski?
No, I learned like a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's just learning. That's not like exactly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and you did very well. You couldn't do that slalom, though.
No, it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard, but you did great on the 2 skis. And, of course, we've had our brother here. I don't know if we got you on early in the program. Tell the folks who you are.
Justin Seidner.
Okay, and you were fun all day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you believe this? This guy and Man Mountain over there, these two on the wave runner, and they're going to pull up. No wonder you had trouble getting up that thing on a slalom ski.
Yeah.
If I, you know what I said? Well, never mind. No, I would have said it. Anyhow, did you guys have fun today?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, well listen, I want to thank you so much for, if it's not for folks like this, we don't get to bring you all of this great equipment and everything. They brought their wave runners down here, and we appreciate it very much, and I'm glad you guys had fun. Now, let me tease my friend here again a little bit. Gary, we didn't get a chance to race the boats today. You seem pretty confident, though.
That's fine. I can settle for what I've got. I know what I have, and I like what I have. Let's put it that way. You like what you have, I like what I have, and I think we're both smiling.
You're exactly right. Plus the fact that he's stroking me a little bit right now. He knows this thing is going to be 15 miles an hour faster than me, and he knows that once we establish this, it is nothing but work for him, because quite frankly, he built this one and he built that one, and if I'm unhappy with mine, it means you got to build another one, Gary.
I know that already. That's why when I come back to the dock before, I told you it went 38 miles an hour. I said that's all they go.
Yeah, well, I drove it already, folks. Believe me, he's going to have some work for him, and I know he's got a turbocharger laying in his basement somewhere. So we'll see what's going to happen. Wait a minute, we're moving over to the new.
You know why?
We have a new favorite here.
His boat's faster.
Well, we don't know that yet. The only time that he was able to pass my boat all day long was when Peggy was driving, and it wouldn't have happened if I was driving, Peggy.
You planted me there.
Anyway, Bob, come on out. One more. We've got a friend of Motorsports Unlimited here. We're done for the day. We've had a great time. The shadows are getting long. It's getting dark. Please step right on over here. Okay. Please tell the folks once again who you are.
Bob Bernard.
Well, Bob, this is Bob Bernard, and if you guys have been watching the show all the time, you know that we used his perfect mint 125 Yamaha to teach Peggy how to ride motorcycles.
Sure did.
It was kind of cold that day, if I remember right, but we had a good time, didn't we?
It snowed right after it was over.
That's right, and you want to tell something to the folks about Toys for Tots.
Yes, don't forget Toys for Tots this winter with the Chicagoland Parade. Anything that you could help us with for the toys for the kids, we really, really appreciate it.
And to remind you folks, that's that big motorcycle run that they do every year in Chicago.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of motorcycles. Come on down and participate or send toys. New unwrapped toys, right?
Yes.
Okay, participate in some way. It's a great cause. Patty, I want to thank you so much. You were a great sport today. Did you have fun on Motorsports Unlimited?
I sure did.
Can we get you to do it again?
Oh, maybe.
Wait. I want a commitment right here on the air. There's 4.5 million people out there.
Depends on what we're doing.
Well, you'll see. We're going to get her on the show again. In fact, I'll show you how we're going to close this thing. We'll make sure we get her. Step right out here, just like this. Look at our camera, and I want you to say,
Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
It's like we keep telling you, Motorsport offers a million ways to have fun. All you have to do is ask and we'll show you how. Unfortunately, we're out of time with only enough left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Chuck Hitzenthaler, John Papke, and John Platania. Special thanks to JBTV's Jerry Bryant. Music is created for us by Fireside Recording Studio in Westchester, Illinois, and by independent artists Roger Pauley and Jerry Herbert. Of course, we have to take a moment to thank the stars of this edition of Motorsports Unlimited: Michelle Donna-Maria, Patty Ryder, Peggy O'Donnell, and our host, Bill Wildt. Me, I'm Tim Murtaugh, urging you to get out on the water one more time before the season's over. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This program made possible in part by support from Jimmy's Red Hots, located on Grant Avenue and Pulaski Road in Chicago.
This program made possible in part by support from the Chicagoland Toys for Tots Motorcycle Parade held on Western Avenue in Chicago, the first Sunday in December.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue at 138th Street in Blue Island, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, president of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program made possible in part by support from Bridgestone Firestone and your local Bridgestone Firestone tire retailers.
This program made possible in part by support from Copy That, located in the County Farm Plaza at County Farm Road and Army Trail Road in Carroll Stream, Illinois. This program made possible in part by support from PB Food Products, located on 47th Street at Western Avenue in Chicago, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from J.C. Whitney & Company, located just off I-80 at the Utica exit in LaSalle, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited was created to raise public consciousness, understanding, and appreciation of the motorsport community and their activities. You can contact us by email at msutv.com, or you can write to Motorsport, P.O. Box 66242, Chicago, Illinois, 60666. We enjoy hearing from our audience. Please let us know what you think.
Next week on Motorsports Unlimited, we're going to show you how to have a cool motorcycle ride right in Chicago and surrounding suburbs. That's right, no hour-long ride to get to the start of your adventure because it starts right in the middle of Chicago. Don't believe it? Join us next week on Motorsports Unlimited and see how we do it.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.